Hey everyone, it's Greg, and it's another edition of Unbreakable. And it is Saturday, September 30th, the last day of September already. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Time flies when you're having fun. Speaking of fun, I'm a little dipped down in my Eagles gear today. I'm getting ready for the big game tomorrow against the Washington Commanders. And today it's a sports themed show. I wanted to give you my predictions and thoughts, not only on the Eagles, but the Phillies' upcoming playoff chances. So let's talk about the Eagles first. Eagles tomorrow, 38-17. NFC East games are usually tight, they're usually tough games, but Eagles' first home game in a few weeks, first day game, 1 o'clock game, which is really rare. Um, I think they come out and they smoke Washington. And the only way the Eagles are going to lose this game is if they commit turnovers and give the ball to the Commanders, like they did last year when the Commanders came in and won in Philadelphia. I don't think that's going to happen tomorrow. I think the Eagles are going to come out and score early and often, get the lead on Washington, and just I can't say any game is easy in the NFL, especially in the NFC East, but can't see the Eagles losing tomorrow. So I'm making it 38-17. Um, my if I had to put one bet on the game, other than the Eagles winning, I would say Eagles over 26 and a half points. That's the line. Because even if it's a tight game, and Washington, it's somehow a 30-27 game or something. Eagles they're gonna cover the 26 and a half. Now I know the offense hasn't been good lately, um, but think about it this way: the Eagles have had a lot of time since their matchup last week down in Tampa Bay. I think the offense is going to come out clicking tomorrow. I just do. I just think they're going to come out clicking. And I don't know. I just have this feeling they will. Washington does not defend the middle of the field very well. Hence, I think Dallas Goedert's going to have a big game tomorrow from his tight end position. And I think DeAndre Swift is going to have another good big game tomorrow. Um, Devontae, Devontae Smith, they said he had a touch of the flu this week or a cold. I don't know how that's going to affect him tomorrow. But here's the way I look at it. Um, AJ Brown had a big game last week. He had 9 catches. Uh, and Jalen Hurts likes to spread the ball around. Now, I know AJ Brown was kind of bitching about not getting the ball the week before. So they sort of threw AJ the bone last week. He had the majority of catches and yards. I think this week they spread it around a little bit. As long as Devontae Smith is feeling healthy, I think he's going to get the ball a little bit more tomorrow. And Dallas Goedert. And Swift, I think, is they're going to keep running him too. Um, my thoughts about the NFL. Um, it's playing out interesting. Let's go division by division. NFC East. Well, the Eagles are on top 3-0. Washington is right behind. Dallas losing last week to Arizona. Whoever thought that was going to happen? The Giants are 1-2. Like we thought, it's Eagles Dallas, I think, all the way. In a dogfight. NFC North, uh, well, Detroit showed how tough they are, you know, when they beat up on Green Bay last Thursday. Um, they're a good team. I don't see anybody in that division matching them. Minnesota stinks. Chicago stinks, and as we saw, Green Bay stinks. NFC South, that should be interesting, between the Saints, the Falcons, the Panthers. None of those teams are good teams, but I think it's going to be a close battle. And out west in the NFC, the 49ers are the class of that division. I mean, come on. AFC, tomorrow's the big matchup. Bills hosting the Dolphins. The Dolphins have been crazy so far this year. And they scored 70 points last week. I mean, what the hell? But the Bills, it's a big game for the Bills because it's a home game, division rival. Uh, Not as cold as they would want it to be. I think the Bills would have rather had this game in December when it's ice cold and snowy up in Buffalo. They make a warm weather team like Miami come north. They're not used to that. But big game for the Bills. Are they going to be able to stay with Miami? I actually like the Bills tomorrow. I think they're going to win. AFC North, we saw Pittsburgh, Cleveland, look like they're the class of the division. I wouldn't rule out Baltimore and Cincinnati yet. Cincinnati with Joe Burrow being hurt, they're not themselves, but it's a long season. Same way with Baltimore. AFC South, looks like Tennessee and Jacksonville still hasn't gotten their footing yet. But look what they did last year. I think Doug Peterson will shake those guys up. I still think Jacksonville is going to be the top team in that division. And AFC West, I mean, come on. Who's going to beat the Chiefs, right? I mean, the Chiefs are still, I don't see the Chiefs getting back to the Super Bowl. But then again, who's going to beat them out West? The Chargers, they've gotten off to a rough start. And the Raiders and the Broncos, come on, they can't compare. So that's the NFL roundup so far. I like the Eagles tomorrow. And home game, 1:00 game. I just think Eagles all the way tomorrow. Phillies. Oh man. Phillies, yes, back in the playoffs. I gotta tell you though, before we talk about the Phillies, did you hear about this? This guy this week tried to bring an alligator into the Phillies game. Oh my God. Here's the thing. He had the alligator on a leash. It was a live alligator. And it wasn't like a little baby alligator. It was a big, long alligator. Tried to bring it into the Citizens Bank Park, claiming that the alligator was his support animal. I mean, what the hell? It's great for people to use the support thing if it really is support for them, But you see people like taking worms or like spiders onto a plane and saying, this is my support. It's just stupid when people use that. They think they're funny or they're weird or, they just make it bad for everybody else. For the people who really, really need a support dog or support cat, right? To keep them comfortable so they're not as anxious. When you get a jackass like this, who's bringing an alligator to the Phillies game and claiming that it's his support animal, that's just stupid. Anyway, I think maybe he was trying to test the laws or something because the Phillies turned him down. Can you imagine they let the support alligator in the game and he's sitting next to somebody and somebody's munching on a hot dog and all of a sudden the gator comes up and takes the hot dog away along with your hand? I mean, I personally, I hate reptiles, so I don't care. Laws are laws, lawsuit or law. No reptiles in the Phillies game. The world's getting crazy, isn't it? Anyway, Phillies. Okay, so they play Tuesday and Wednesday. Best out of 3 at home. Don't know who they're playing yet. Looks like it may be Arizona. Arizona needs to win one game this weekend to lock up their playoff seed. But look out for Miami. Miami's got the tiebreakers. They need to win one more game this weekend, too. Here's the way I look at it. I think that's going to be your 2 more wildcard teams, Arizona and Miami. I think the Cubs have choked. They're not going to make it. Cincinnati's not going to make it. They've had a nice year. but they're not going to make it. Arizona and Miami. It just depends on what position, who's going to be the second wild card seed, who's going to be the third. To me, I think if the Phillies play Arizona, they sweep them in two. Because Arizona has to fly across the country to get to Philly. They already used their best pitcher last night, Zach Gallen, who lost. He's not going to be able to pitch probably until Wednesday, which is game 2. I think the Phillies take care of the Snakes in 2. But I think if the Phillies play the Miami Marlins, I think the Marlins take them to 3 games. Why do I say that? Because Miami always gives the Phillies a tough time. Always. You know. The only thing with Miami is they it seems like they've been on the road forever. They've been on this road trip. And then they got stuck in New York when the freaking Mets ground crew forgot to put, how do you forget to put or leave the tarp off the field last weekend during a tropical storm? Well, that just ruined everything. They had to play a doubleheader the other day, and that they could have played it. There's still one game. The 9th inning, they didn't finish. The Marlins may have to go back to New York on Monday, finish the 9th inning, which they're ahead, and then go to Phil. I don't know. It's just so all this back and forth, may be a detriment to Miami. But I will give Miami credit. Miami is tough. I think they have a better roster than Arizona. There's just something about Miami. I think if Miami plays Milwaukee instead of the Phillies, I think even though the series will be in Milwaukee, I think Miami gives them a tough time. I really, really do. So I'd rather see the Phillies play Arizona. I think they can take care of them easier. If the Phillies win, they're going to play the Atlanta Braves. What a series that's going to be. And we'll talk about that next week if it comes to be. I mean, Arizona's going to have revenge, but don't count this Phillies team out. They've got experience. They know how to beat the Braves. What a series. And did you hear what's going on down in Atlanta? This week, the Braves will be off because they won the division. So they're going to be sitting home watching the wild card games this weekend. So what are the Braves going to do? They're playing simulated games. They're inviting their fans into the stadium. They're going to encourage them to be as loud as possible. And they're going to apparently pipe crowd noise into the game too. They admit they did not handle the Philadelphia crowd noise very well last year. I mean, our fans are just so passionate about our teams, and the Braves couldn't handle it. They fell apart. So the Braves are trying to simulate that crowd. I don't think they can do it. There's nothing like a Philadelphia crowd. You're not going to be able to simulate it. I mean, you're not going to do it. And the last thing is Spencer Strider. God bless him. He's a great pitcher, young pitcher for Atlanta. Will lead the league in strikeouts. Maybe the Cy Young Award winner. He pitches tonight, and he has 19 wins. So he's gone for his 20th win. Here's his problem. They were doing an interview with him the other day, and for some reason he said he wishes it was back in 2020 when there were no crowds in the stands, when all the stands were filled with cardboard cutouts. He said he can't stand crowd noise. He doesn't like the noise. He'd rather there not be fans. What a guy to say that. You know, the fans pay his salary. They buy the tickets, which in turn means that the teams pay the players, but it's to kind of insult the fans that way and say, I wish you weren't there. I mean, that's, I wouldn't do that. But anyway, I'll tell you one thing though, mark my word. He can't stand crowd noise and crowds. Wait till he gets to Philadelphia, baby. We're not going to let him forget that. Wait till he pitches in Philly. And if he pitches game 1 in Atlanta, chances are he would pitch game 4 or 5 in Philadelphia. Wait till that happens. He is going to hear noise from the moment he steps on that rubber, and constant Strider, you suck, Strider, you suck. I mean, typical Philadelphia crowd, and I may be one of them. But to say something like that is just stupid. I mean, even if you believe it, keep it to yourself. I mean, what the hell, Can't stand those Braves. Anyway, so I'm off to watch college football. Tomorrow's the NFL. Enjoy the games. Go Eagles. I'll be at the Eagles game tomorrow. It's supposed to be a beautiful day. 78, sunny. Oh, perfect football weather. And I'm looking for a victory. I hope to bring one home to you guys. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday. I will probably do a review of the Eagles game and whatever else is in the news, That's what we talk about here, and we spread a little hope and inspiration on the way. So I hope you like the show. If you do like the show, hit like or subscribe. I appreciate it. I appreciate you tuning in, watching me, or listening to me, and tell your friends. Hey, we have a good time anytime we get together. So you guys take care and have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye for now. Bye.